Hi, Taurus. Happy birthday, huh? Happy fucking birthday to you. There's a lot of like amazing energy I'm getting from you guys. I did a little meditating on your sign before this started. A lot of astrology going on in your sign this month. And I think it's really empowering you and making you like ready to go to the next level, all right? So let's just let this little intro play and then we'll get into your May horoscope.
Kiss me with your eyes open.
All right, Taurus, so it's May. We got new moon in your sign coming up. We got Mercury in your sign coming up. We got the sun in your sign, obviously, right? So collectively, I think what's happening with everybody is that there's just like a grounding of energy, an establishing a foundation, practicality, things that come naturally to you guys in your sign. And everyone's feeling this a little bit right now, right? And my sense with you guys, and also it's funny because all the earth signs actually, this month have experienced a leveling up. And the interesting part of that is that a lot of that is based in like an improvement in the emotional state. I think a lot of the earth signs have been really focused, have been really like on their grind. And now it's like with the springtime, with the returning energy in the world, with like the fire in life, the sunshine, I feel like you guys are getting a lot more energy. So here's what's gonna happen here, right? I have a new deck here, and I have a new layout that I'm laying them out in. And we're gonna go ahead and just have a conversation and pull cards as we go, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by pulling a couple cards for April, kind of sum up the lessons and what we're coming into May with, and then we'll get into reading more about May. I have the description of the cards I'm using in the description below. Also, I've repriced all my personal readings and you can check those out. That's in the description below as well, right? So Taurus, let's get into it. I'm excited. I'm like feeling your energy this month. I think things are gonna go super well. Here's where we start, two of wands. So there are definite choices that have been made, right? Like deliberate, it's almost like when I look at this, I see as like taking a stance, right? This is like that kind of perseverance, right? That kind of, in a way, these two wands look like sticks in the mud. And the way some people might see you guys as like just stubborn and like not wanting to do, like be flexible, maybe like a stick in the mud, right? I think this is actually pretty virtuous for you guys. I think what's happening now in end of April into May is that Taurus is starting to see like their efforts pay off. You know, like what's happier than a pig in shit? A Taurus who's seeing like the fruits of their labor. And I think that now, like it's almost like when I look at this card, there's a sense of gratification. It's like you guys knew what was right for you. You knew what you had to do. You stuck with it. You persisted in it. And then now you're coming through into a new phase of your life. You're coming into like a leveling up in a way is what I felt for you guys, right? Let's see what else we have from April. Wheel of Fortune, exactly. So the tide is turning. You guys, it's like patience, right? So when I was meditating on what you guys were going through, I got the sense that like Taurus isn't patient right now, right? It's like when I said how you're starting to see the fruits of your labor, it's almost like to me a Taurus getting a taste of blood in their mouth, right? You just want more. You're ready to go. Like you're tired of taking things slowly. You're almost tired of even being deliberate. It's like you just want to throw off the reins and go a little buck wild. I mean, it's your birthday month. You should go a little buck wild. Especially if like the Taurus I'm dating, like your birthday's on Cinco de Mayo. Those are fun Tauruses, huh? Maybe that's why you have to be this way sometimes, because I think when y'all really let loose, like you let loose, you can party with when you want to, not just because it's your party, you know what I mean? Anyway, things are changing. You're feeling like this shift in energy, I think. I think you're coming into May feeling almost like you can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like there's been this shadow over you guys, and now it's like starting to lift, and maybe you're still feeling it. Maybe everything's not like comfortable and super easy, but it's like you can see that like things are getting better, that things are improving, right? And the Wheel of Fortune says like, it's making me feel like this is just the correct timing for you. That what's happening in your life right now, the good and the bad, but especially the stuff that's bringing you out of the bad, was like sort of, my mom always likes to say divine timing. Fateful timing, right? Last but not least, we have the King of Swords. So first of all, I think that if you guys are dealing with an air sign, they could actually in some way have been playing into this, right? Even if not like in a deliberate way, and like a way that kind of pushes you forward, right? In a way that makes you be real. It makes you be honest, right? And if it's not that you have an air sign in your life, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the King of Swords is sort of embodying this ruthlessness that I'm feeling from you guys, right? Like, it's almost like a savagery, but about like your ambition. Like I'm feeling Taurus is fed up a little bit. Like fed up with waiting, fed up with like taking your time, fed up with like watching other people get theirs while you're still like struggling a little bit. While you're still like having to make an effort, right? In love and business, like you might see people around you, whatever your main concern is right now, you're probably seeing a lot of people around you like getting what you want, and now you're ready to say fuck that. You feel almost like the universe is on your side, and now is your time to like floss, to be a boss. I was gonna try and rhyme that with something else again, but like I'm clearly not a lyricist. All right, so Taurus, I mean, optimistic energy, right? We have optimism, we have hope, we have action. Great place to come into May with, right? Very like ready to move. All of these cards are very movement oriented, forward motion, right? Flowing. All right, so let's go ahead and start and pick out what we're looking at central situation for Taurus for the month of May. Four Swords. So this is what I was saying when I don't think I said it. I wrote it in my notes that you guys are like feeling more lighthearted. It's as if the springtime has brought you back to life. When I was thinking about you guys on the way home to record this tonight, I was imagining like that Ferdinand the Bull, like floating through the garden and just like being in love with smells and spring and butterflies and flowers, and it's almost like not like the work is done, but I think it's time for you guys to take a rest, to have a little fun, to be a little lighthearted. You know, right now, as I'm filming this, Mercury just entered Gemini. And it's going to stay there till like the end of May when it goes into Cancer. I think from now until the end of May, probably until like Gemini season starts, from now until then, it's an excellent time. Your ruling planet Venus is like being swept away almost. It's almost like this romance, this like tryst, this time where you're like ready to just let go of all the heaviness, to lighten up. For some of you, that's gonna mean like, you know, more socializing or more fun or getting out of the house more. For some of you, that's gonna be the opposite of relaxing, indulging, right? Like sitting on your couch in your pajamas watching Real Housewives marathons all day. I'm not a Taurus, but I do that like twice a week. You know? But finally, Taurus, I'm feeling like peace of mind. I'm feeling like maybe you've had this like tension. Taurus rules like the neck area, right? So if you guys have had tension, with the Four Swords, like get a massage. Get someone to rub you down, make you feel good, right? You need to, like, it's a release of all that tension you guys have been carrying in May. Of course, you're not gonna, like, I already see it in my head, like, you're gonna relax and have fun maybe for a little bit, and then it's gonna be back to the drawing board, right? But that's cathartic. It's like you need that release for the long-term functioning, for the long-term fulfillment of what you want, right? Ace of Cups. So remember what I started off saying here. A lot of the Ace of Cups isn't always just about new love. To me, it's about a free-flowing energy of love, of happiness, right? Of purity of emotion in a way. And I think this is a surefire sign here that your spirits are lifting. That your orientation now is maybe towards things like love and building up your relationship. Or it's towards like investing more time with the people you care about, your family, your friends. I think though, if you're a Taurus who is looking for love, there's absolutely something to be said about the way your relationships right now can loosen you up and make you almost more attractive, make you more appealing, right? If you are looking for love, I think what's crucial here is this Four of Swords energy, right? To bring to you a partner who, because I think what you guys maybe want is someone who's going to take care of you, right? What Taurus wants is somebody who's going to maybe even make you a little more lighthearted. Maybe you guys know that you can be tense and like stubborn, and maybe you want someone to push you a little bit, right? I think Taurus does like to be chased a little. Taurus wants to be pursued. That's almost like you win a Taurus maybe sometimes if you just keep going, right? Keep going at it, being persistent, like not like a creep. Like if you're a cross watcher and you're like in love with a Taurus and you're just being a creep at this point, like leave them alone, bro. But you know what I mean, Taurus? It's like you want to feel loved. You want to feel taken care of. You want to feel nurtured. Let's look at more about this Ace of Cups here. So we're clarifying the Ace of Cups with the Two of Cups. So I mean, definitely Taurus, I think a clear-cut sign about romance, about partnership, right? Whether you have a relationship or whether you're looking for one or whether you're in one that's like developing or whatever, like this is a new level of companionship and partnership, right? We go from one cup to two. You go from feeling good and like having a drink on your own and having somebody to like share it with. And here's the thing, Taurus. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to say this to you guys. I just want to point out the fact that this one cup, yes, Taurus, is much bigger, yes, Taurus, and has much more water in it, yes, than either of these two do, right? But what do you want? Do you want to have this big old cup all to yourself with that little dove who's going to maybe like drop a dookie on you? Or would you rather have a little less but somebody to share it with? What I'm saying is that I think there needs to be it almost feels weird to say this to you guys, but and I don't think this is the best word choice, but almost like a little less independence. No, you know, we've talked about this before, how Taurus sometimes like you need somebody to lean on. You want people to support you. Even though you act like you got it all on your own, like you sometimes need that. You're ruled by the planet of love, right? So if you are interested in love or you are interested in taking a partnership to the next level, like do understand, yeah, there's some sacrifice. There's a tiny sacrificing, not of yourself, but of maybe like all this free time like you want to spend alone, right? This is the difference. Taurus likes to isolate themselves sometimes and have alone time, right? Taurus is like that bull out in the middle of the pasture who just wants to graze in peace. But then you guys also like to get in, like snuggle in the blankets, don't you? Don't you? So Taurus, try to find the balance. Try to find the balance between how you fill yourself and how you fulfill your own needs. And how you can maybe, even if that means taking away a little bit of that, fill more than one cup in a way that's still satisfying, in a way that's almost more satisfying, right? You can do all the work yourself and that feels great, but what about the power of collaboration, right? I've been in situations where I've seen firsthand how letting someone else like do something with your work can take it to a level that you don't even imagine, right? So if we are talking about work here, business partnerships and collaborations could be super fruitful, right? But then also, like, I'm talking about collaborations like partnerships, right? Like the thing that somebody else adds to your life that you couldn't do yourself. At least like in the same way, right? With that unique flavor. So Taurus, be open in May, right? Be open-minded to finding fulfillment and nourishment from places that are maybe a little different than where you're used to getting them. Knight of Pentacles. So no matter what, you guys are still focused on your money, right? No matter what, no one's going to take that away from you, right? It's funny because I heard someone say recently that Taurus is a very lazy sign. And I kind of was taken aback by that because I don't think that you guys are lazy at all. I actually feel like you're super motivated by financial security and material well-being, right? I think when you get lazy, you can get lazy, right? Like I wasn't exaggerating when I talk about like sitting on a couch all week and watching reality shows, right? Like when you indulge, when you let go, you indulge. But I think that's just because you do work hard, right? I think your sign has a very healthy idea of work-life balance. It might be a little work leaning sometimes, right? But you have a healthy sense of work-life balance of personal and professional. A little more professional, I think, most of the time, but still recognizing the value, right? The Knight of Pentacles here is telling me that you guys are ready to take off, right? Normally this card looks very slow moving, very focused and very deliberate, but right now when I'm looking at it, it's like this horse is about to take off. And I've never ever looked at this card before and felt that energy of the Knight of Pentacles ready to move fast. Like, what? Says who? Who said that? But I think it's like being ready to charge, right? It's like you guys are focused and you've done the work and you've done the growth and now you're just ready to charge. Like I said from the beginning before we even started pulling cards, it's like you're getting impatient. Remember what I said about the light at the end of the tunnel? It's like you guys can see this happiness. You can see this potential for love. You can see this potential for joy and emotional fulfillment. Just like I started off saying in the beginning, right? How the earth signs are really leveling up and moving forward. Leveling up and moving forward is like the fucking jam for the Knight of Pentacles, right? But what's the light at the end of the tunnel? The emotional stuff, the happiness, the relationships, the art, the creativity, right? Y'all like love to craft and make things and cook and like all that like hands-on expressive stuff. So indulge in your art, indulge in like those productive things, right? Doesn't have to be productive, but like fulfilling. What am I thinking of? Like me and my Taurus are going on a date to see a play this weekend, right? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about where it's relaxing and it's fun, but it's still like you getting some culture. Clearly, by the way I talk, I need some culture, right? Anyway, let's pull more cards here, guys. I'm getting like too swept up in this. Victories, guys. Six of Wands. So you're going to start to see the payoffs. You're going to see the progress. You're going to win this month. I think in one way or another, like you're going to feel like you accomplished some shit. And I think that you're even going to be like what you're accomplishing is pretty close to your vision, like to your ideals, to your goals. This is not like aiming for the moon and landing in the stars kind of shit. This is like, no, you got actually like touched the moon. So expect achievements. And this is great too, because we're talking about socializing, right? The Six of Wands often represents like a public success. So this is a great time to celebrate with your friends, even if it's just for your birthday, even if it's just like celebrating getting through another year of life. You know, the way you reflect on your birthday about like all your accomplishments, how far you've come, right? But I want to say also, like, I do expect, like, remember how I was saying, like, it's like he's ready to take off? The knights usually represent the building or the moving towards something. But I really think, like, this motherfucker's about to snatch some of those wands. Like there's going to be accomplishments in your career. Yo, and Taurus, like, and in your love life, and in your emotional world. And it doesn't, like, I don't want to make everything about romantic love, because love is more than that, right? It's about feeling connected to a community. So if you just, like, are getting closer to the people you care about, if you're getting involved in a group of people, like, you feel like you're part of something. You feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. Seven of Pentacles, like, I swear, I feel like I've just been getting like more and more psychic with like these little meditations before the readings, because like everything I'm talking about, this patience, this thing's paying off, right? Things are paying off. Like, does it have to get any clearer here, guys? That there's like material successes happening, that there's advancements in your career happening, that there's even maybe like some stability if in like a living situation. That could be, right? Whatever it is that you've been wanting, whatever it is that you've been hoping for, this card is literally the card of planting seeds and waiting for them to bloom and sprout. And depending on like the intuition and the context, right? Sometimes this could be like waiting for something that's not going to pay off, or starting to see things that are paying off, or making bad investments. But right now I feel like this is like sprouting for you guys. The spring fiery energy, your persistence is paying off. Like a pagan shit, Taurus. Like a bull in abundance. Like a bull in I don't know. I'll figure something out, and that'll be the title for this video. All right, so let's start pulling a couple outcome cards for you guys from May. Knight of Cups, beautiful. Dreams, like this is, oh my god, guys, this is like the perfect fusion of all of this stuff that we've been talking about is here embodied in the Knight of Cups, and the guy who's chasing his dreams, who's pursuing his dreams, right? It's almost like everything you've wanted is coming closer, like one step closer. You're filling up that cup. This is like, I think a few months ago I said that like Taurus was dry. And I didn't mean dry, I meant like you know, a dry field of something as compared to like something that's well watered, as in like the emotional state needed to be water like the material world. And this is a surefire sign to me that like you guys are getting that watering. You're getting creative, you're getting romantic. You're like indulging in a little fantasy. And I think it's making you happy, and I think it's moving you forward in like multiple areas of your life. Okay, so we have the waning, the waxing moon, the first quarter moon. So again, still slow and steady progress, right? But where we're starting to see things manifest. I don't think everything that you want is going to come to you in one shot this month. But it's almost like you have your foothold in something. The waxing moon is a promise of growth, a promise of like fulfillment. right? It's inevitable. This will ultimately move into a full moon. Like, no matter what, right? Talking about timing, talking about patience, talking about persistence, right? But Taurus, I also want to go back to the very beginning of this reading and recall the Four of Swords. And then also I'll this is where it starts, guys. It starts with a sense of peace of mind that translates into just wanting more happiness for yourself. And then all this other stuff starts to come your way. But especially this, like, you guys have to do what you have to do this month to find some degree of peace of mind. If that's blocking the person who's jerking you around in a relationship, if that's going on a little trip by yourself, if that's getting a massage, right? Physical stuff might be good for you guys, like in the body. Eating a good meal, like just relaxing. Even if you're just doing a little staycation, you know what I mean? This is like the crux of everything that is good that is going to happen to you coming forward, right? You'll still have good stuff, but like this is really going to make it happen. This is going to take it to this level, and then to this level, and then to this level, right? And makes this dude start to take off. One last one, Taurus, and then we're going to pull. I have my private readings, I use these rune cards, and we're going to use them in this reading today as the last step here, right? All right, so last but not least, we have the Five of Pentacles. So, I don't think that you're going to feel without strain. Five of Pentacles with these other cards here, I think money's still going to be a little difficult for you guys, right? Not like that you're broke, but getting it on the level that you want it to be, where you feel more comfortable. Like Taurus level comfortable. Your level of comfort is going to be much higher than other people's level of comfort when it comes to material well-being. All earth signs are like that, but especially you guys. Right? It's hard for Taurus to feel good if they're like, material world isn't in order. But what I want to say here is that with the Five of Pentacles, sometimes there's a feeling of lack. There's a feeling of like not being good enough. There's a feeling of like rejection. It's almost as if like the physical, the material void is like manifesting the emotional. The emotional void is manifesting in the material, and vice versa. So don't expect to not have these feelings, Taurus. But what I want to say is, if you do get these feelings, love it. Do things that make you feel powerful. We have the Emperor. Remind yourself, count your blessings. Focus on the things that you're good at. Like, you guys have to kind of be okay with fucking up a little bit, I think, is what is the message here. And staying on course. And not quitting. Because, like, you just have this solid belief in your power and, like, what you're able to accomplish and your competence, right? You've seen your craft pay off. You've seen, like, you've gotten great feedback from people. You've been praised in certain ways, right? So if there's like one or two setbacks this month, like stay grounded in that. A relationship didn't work. Maybe you've had relationships in the past that say, yeah, relationships do work with me. I'm not broken. I just need to pick better. A financial you don't have a business success? Well, you still have great product. You still offer a great service. You got great reviews, right? So you had one fuck up, so what? Get out of this emotional cold space. Don't let yourself sink into despair. Do what you gotta do, Taurus, to pick yourself up out of any feelings of lack or not being good enough or despair. Okay? So let's go ahead. One last time, I'm gonna pull one of these rune cards. Again, I'll put the name of these rune cards too. They're the Witches runes by Nigel Jackson, and I'll put that in the description below, right by the private reading link. All right, guys. So one last card to finish us off here. Love it. Kenaz, the rune that means torch. What it represents is the fire within, the creative fire. What I said from the beginning about it's almost as if Taurus is being woken up by the sunlight, by the fire in the world that spring brought, that Aries brought, right? It's almost as if like in the zodiac, Aries brings fire back to the world, and now Taurus has the job of carrying that fire forward, right? Because you can bear the burden. With this rune, it's saying like, be creative. I think that's so essential to you guys this month. I think, especially with the Five of Pentacles energy, when you're feeling a little lack, when you're feeling a little without, I think being creative, spending time doing your crafts and your hobbies, right? Or even if it's just like taking in the arts. I think that's super important for Taurus in May. Letting like the passion in your life rule you for a little bit, like letting go. This rune often represents sexuality, right? Like the fire in the loins. It represents like the drive to create. It's like sacral chakra, right? The chakra that's all about creation and sexuality and like feeding yourself, like energetically feeding yourself. So feed yourself, Taurus. Not just chocolate. I know everyone makes jokes about Taurus and like liking to eat, but like Taurus likes to eat. I've never met a Taurus that like doesn't like to snack. All right, guys, this was a great reading. I'm really optimistic. I'm really happy for you guys. I'm really hopeful for where things are going for you because, you know, I've been talking a long time about like paying attention to your emotional world, and it feels like this is starting to happen. And I feel like it's starting to feel good, and it's starting to be encouraging, and you guys are getting the validation in the world that you've been looking for. And just be careful, though, that when you don't get that validation, that you don't sink into despair. You don't start beating yourself up. You don't start telling yourself you're not good enough. Because you're more than good enough, Taurus. I guarantee you have people around you who respect you and love you. Who care about your well-being. Right? All right, guys. This has been a great reading. I'll talk to you in June. You have a killer May. I love you. Bye-bye.